We spend our lives chasing money, success, love, peace. But the harder we chase, the further it all runs. What if the secret isn't in effort, but in ease? The Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Epictetus, taught that when the mind relaxes, reality aligns. You don't manifest by forcing outcomes. You manifest by releasing control. Because when you stop grasping, life finally has room to flow toward you. Relaxation isn't laziness. It's mastery. It's the art of doing without clinging, acting without fear, and trusting the rhythm of nature. So pause, breathe, let go of what you can't control, and focus on who you can be. The moment you relax, you're no longer resisting life. And that's when everything you've been chasing begins to find you. Human life has always been a restless pursuit. We chase things, success, wealth, love, peace, as if the world itself were a marketplace of desires waiting for the right price of effort. Yet the harder we run, the further the horizon seems to move. The modern mind, trained by centuries of ambition, rarely stops to question the contradiction it lives within. The more we grasp, the more we lose. The more we force, the more resistance we meet. And so the Stoics, those serene masters of reason, whisper through the centuries, relax. The man who learns to be still, they say, moves in perfect harmony with nature's law. He manifests not through struggle, but through alignment. To manifest everything you want, according to Stoic philosophy, is not to demand that reality serve your whims. It is to recognize that everything you truly want is already within your reach, once your mind becomes tranquil and rational. The Stoic sage is not one who commands a universe, but one who understands its order and flows with it. The modern idea of manifestation, that our thoughts shape reality, finds its deepest philosophical roots in the Stoic understanding that perception and judgment determine our experience. The key, then, is to relax not in apathy, but in mastery, to let go of illusion and stand still in truth. The paradox of desire and ease. Every philosophy of life begins with a paradox. For the Stoics, it is this: freedom arises from discipline, and serenity arises from surrender. The world around us insists that desire fuels life, that wanting more, pushing harder, is the path to success. But Stoicism turns this logic upside down. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, reminded himself daily that anxiety comes not from external events, but from our opinions about them. When we desire outcomes we cannot control, we create tension. When we relax that tension, when we let go of the need to control, we discover an effortless power, an alignment with the natural flow of events. This is the first secret of manifestation through stillness. The more the mind relaxes, the more clearly it perceives what is within its power. Effort that arises from peace is pure action. Effort that arises from fear is strain. The Stoic does not reject action. He acts precisely and decisively, but his action is born of calm understanding, not desperate wanting. To relax, in the Stoic sense, is to return to reason. It is to cease the inner struggle against what is. 2. The Stoic foundation, control and acceptance. Epictetus, born a slave and later revered as a philosopher, taught a simple but revolutionary principle. Some things are up to us and some things are not. This distinction is a cornerstone of Stoic peace. Our judgments, desires, and choices lie within our control. Everything else, reputation, fortune, the behavior of others, lies beyond it. To confuse the two is the root of suffering. To understand the boundary is the beginning of freedom. When one learns to accept what cannot be controlled, a deep relaxation occurs. This is not passivity but liberation. The mind that releases the impossible task of controlling the world becomes light and free. The Stoic, in this sense, manifests his desires by transforming them. He desires only what accords with reason and nature. Thus, he never fails to obtain what he truly seeks. The modern notion of manifestation, ask, believe, receive, is often misunderstood as magical thinking. But when translated into Stoic language, it becomes rational and profound. To ask is to clarify what lies within your will. To believe is to align your reason with nature's order. To receive is to accept whatever results as the unfolding of that same order. The Stoic thus manifests not by forcing reality, but by cooperating with it. 3. desire, attachment, and the mind's tension. The Stoics saw desire as a double-edged sword. When directed toward virtue and wisdom, it ennobles the soul. When directed toward externals, it enslaves us. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." Likewise, he who desires everything desires nothing in particular, and his mind becomes scattered, tense, restless. The more we crave, the less we possess. The more we tighten our grip, the more life slips through our fingers. To relax, then, is not to abandon desire, but to refine it. The Stoic transforms raw desire into calm intention. He acts without attachment, aware that outcomes depend on countless causes beyond his control. He sows the seed, but he does not demand the harvest. In this detachment lies true power, for nature often yields most abundantly to those who do not strangle her with impatience. Relaxation in this philosophical sense is not an indulgence, but a discipline. It requires vigilance to notice when the mind begins to tighten, when it moves from purposeful action into anxious craving. The Stoic trains himself to recognize these moments and release them. He breathes, remembers the brevity of life, and returns to his task with equanimity. Thus, his life becomes a meditation in motion. For relaxation as a Stoic discipline. Modern ears hear the word relaxation and imagine leisure, idleness, or withdrawal from effort. But to the Stoic, relaxation is the art of serenity amid movement. It is a composure that allows a soldier to act decisively in battle, a ruler to judge fairly under pressure, a thinker to reason clearly amid chaos. It is not escape from reality, but mastery within it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This inner retreat is not escapism. It is a command center of rational life. The relaxed mind observes the world without distortion, free from the fog of passion. Such clarity is the foundation of effective action. Only the relaxed mind can see what is essential and discard the trivial. To relax, in Stoic terms, is to stand firm in the present moment. The past is gone, the future uncertain, and anxiety is merely the mind's rebellion against time. When we relax into the now, we align with the Stoic ideal of living according to nature, which is simply living in harmony with reality as it unfolds. Manifestation and alignment with nature. The Stoics did not speak of manifestation in modern terms, yet their entire philosophy implies it. They believed the universe was governed by logos, the rational principle that orders all things. To align oneself with logos is to participate in the divine reason of the cosmos. When one coincides with this universal law, the distinction between what I want and what happens dissolves. The will and the world move as one. This is the deepest form of manifestation. Not the fulfillment of personal desires, but the realization that one's true desire is to live in accord with reason. The universe then ceases to be an adversary. It becomes a partner. The calm soul manifests harmony because it is harmonious. This, too, is what relaxation means, a return to one's natural state of balance. Consider water. When agitated, it distorts everything it reflects. When still, it mirrors the world with perfect clarity. The same is true of the mind. A relaxed mind perceives truth and acts in harmony with it. An anxious mind projects its own chaos and calls it fate. The Stoic chooses stillness, not because he is indifferent to life, but because he knows that stillness reveals reality as it is. 6. Modern interpretations of manifestation. The contemporary fascination with manifestation often veers toward self-centered fantasy, the belief that mere wishing can bend the universe to personal will. Yet beneath the exaggeration lies a truth that the Stoics would recognize. The quality of our inner state shapes our experience of the outer world. Thoughts alone may not rearrange matter, but they rearrange perception, and perception defines reality. The Stoic version of manifestation begins with rational thought, not magical expectation. The sage does not demand that the world conform to him. He adapts to the world with grace. In doing so, he often finds that circumstances align naturally with his efforts, because his efforts are aligned with reason. Thus, he manifests not through control, but through cooperation. This perspective reveals the moral depth of Stoicism. The universe, for the Stoic, is not an instrument for personal gain, but a living system in which each soul has a role. Relaxation, therefore, is not only practical but ethical. It is the posture of respect toward a larger order. To relax is to trust the logos, to believe that the unfolding of events, however painful, is not chaos but wisdom beyond our understanding. 7. Practical Stoic exercises for calm manifestation. How, then, does one practice this kind of relaxation? The Stoics offered many exercises to train the mind toward calm rationality. The dichotomy of control, at every moment. Distinguish what depends on you from what does not. Focus your energy only on the former. Premeditation of adversity, premeditatio malorum. Imagine possible obstacles before they arise. By accepting them mentally, you rob them of their power to disturb. Voluntary discomfort. Occasionally practice living with less. Fast, sleep on the floor, go without luxury. By doing so, you discover how little is truly needed for contentment. Journaling and reflection. Like Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations, write daily to examine your thoughts. Purify your motives and remind yourself of what lies within your control. Contemplation of impermanence. Remember that all things pass, including your own life. This thought, far from depressing, brings profound peace, for it reveals the futility of worry. Mindful action. Approach each task as if it were your last. Do it with excellence, but without attachment to the result. This transforms ordinary work into meditation. These exercises cultivate the relaxed mind, a mind that no longer clings to outcomes but acts from wisdom. And from this calm state, manifestation happens naturally. The relaxed person perceives opportunities others miss, responds to challenges with grace, and draws harmony from chaos simply by being aligned with it. 8. The paradox resolved. When you relax, you receive. Here lies a great paradox. The more you relax, the more you receive. The Stoic does not relax to gain, yet by relaxing he gains everything. When the mind ceases its frantic striving, its perception clears. When perception clears, judgment improves. And when judgment improves, action becomes effective. The relaxed person manifests not because the universe is being manipulated, but because he himself is no longer in his own way. Seneca wrote, "He who is contented is rich." To be relaxed is to be content with the present moment. And contentment is the richest state of being. The world often responds to such a soul as a conspiring in its favor, not through supernatural means, but through the natural coherence of wisdom, courage, and patience. When your inner state mirrors the order of nature, your outer life reflects it as well. The Stoic, then, does not manifest by commanding reality, but by becoming its willing instrument. He relaxes not out of weakness, but out of strength. His peace is active, his calm radiant. He no longer says, "I want this to happen," but rather, "Let me align with what is happening." And in that alignment, he discovers that what he truly wanted was never outside him. It was peace itself. 9. Conclusion. The still point of the turning world. To relax and manifest is not to abandon reason or will. It is to refine them into harmony with the greater order things. The Stoics invite us to stop treating life as a problem to solve and start living it as an art to be practiced. Every event, pleasant or painful, becomes material for virtue. Every moment offers a choice: resist or align, tense or relax. In the end, Stoicism teaches that manifestation is not about attracting possessions or events, but about embodying wisdom. The relaxed mind manifests clarity. The wise mind manifests peace, and the peaceful life manifests happiness. To relax, therefore, is not merely to rest. It is to return to yourself, to the still center that has always been untouched by chaos. When you learn to relax in a sense, to trust reason, to surrender to nature's flow, to act without attachment, you will find that the things you once chased begin to move toward you of their own accord. For the universe, ever rational and harmonious, responds most generously to those who already live in accordance with its rhythm. The Stoics knew this long before the modern age gave it new names. To relax is to manifest, because to relax is to be wise. And wisdom, in the end, is the highest form of power, quiet, steady, and eternally at peace.